Hi everyone, Jeff Gonzalez here. Just sitting in my office, stroke study, doing a bit of property education. Okay, so those who don't know me, I'm Jeff Gonzalez. I'm a property developer from Northamptonshire. I specialise in family-let properties. I work with a property developer who owns over 250 properties himself and owns an educational company, and he supplies over 1,000 properties a year for his clients. Okay, so I'm on his VIP package. So today's video is just all about property development and property education, to be more precise. Okay, so why do we learn about property development? So I say if you really want to learn about property, you really want to go for mastery. And what do I mean by that? Mastery means educating yourself to the best of your ability. So finding yourself a really good mentor or group who can educate you all about property. Okay, and things about education is you only learn by doing. And to develop mastery, you really need to do a lot of repetition. So last week I tuned into one of our courses. We were doing actually holiday lets and service accommodation. So if you really want to be a property developer, you really want to learn about all the strategies. And believe me, there's a lot of strategies. So strategies like buy to let, service accommodation, holiday let, lease options, rent to rent, rent to SA, HMO. There's lots of different strategies. Commercial. Okay, so if you're not into property, you probably won't even understand a lot of that what I just said. But believe me, there's a lot of strategies. So you probably want to learn about all the strategies, but you really want to marry one strategy to start with and master that first. Okay, so for instance, I'm doing buy to let. Some people call it family let. Okay, I'm going to do that until I master it, and then I may move on to service accommodation, even may move on to holiday lets, which is a really great strategy. We're going to talk about that in a little while. So the main thing about properties is there's 4 profit levers in properties. Okay, the first profit lever is buying at discount. So as a property developer, you always want to try and buy at discount. 10 to 15% discount could earn you 10, 15, 20, 30,000 pounds straight away as soon as you buy a property. Okay, so you always want to go for that, but that only pays you once. That's when you first purchase a property. Okay, your next lever you want to think about is cash flow. So on a buy-to-let property, the cash flow is the profit you make from the rent after you've paid the mortgage, insurance, if you've got a letting agent, maintenance, anything that you've made after you paid everything, all the bills. Okay, that's your cash flow. Now that comes in monthly, so as long as you've got that property, you're paying that monthly. Okay, and that's what you've got to understand about a lot of people look at the debt and think, oh, I've got a debt on this property. It's like, no, but that debt is being paid for by the tenant, so we really don't, so it's a good debt basically. Okay, the next lever is asset growth. Okay, so house prices increase on average 7.9% a year and has done so for the last 90 years. So so basically your property is growing in value all the time, 7.9%, and you can't get that sort of interest in the bank anywhere. So what we've got to remember is, I mean, last 12 months, property prices rose by 10%. That's in the last 12 months alone. Okay, on average, a house price will double every 8 to 10 years. So house price will double every 8 to 10 years. So that's another reason never to sell your properties as well. Okay, equity release, that's the last thing we're going to talk about. It's the 4th profit lever. So equity release means equity is the amount of money you've got after your mortgage is paid in the property. So you've got £100,000 property, and you've got £70,000 equity in the property. Okay, you can release 75% of that equity, and then you can use it for what you want. You can go on holiday with it, buy yourself a car, or if you're gonna do it, buy yourself another property. Okay, so equity release is a 4th profit lever. Okay, so we want to use all those. Okay, so so I was talking about holiday lets and service accommodation. So if you use those 2 strategies, you can avoid Section 24 tax, which is a new tax what has come in for any 40% taxpayers are now paying a whole load of tax on their property. Okay, so a lot of landlords are getting out of the business because they're paying a whole load of tax. But you can avoid those if you did service accommodation and holiday lets, because it's a different tax form, it's a different tax bracket. Okay, And you can also claim a thing called capital allowances, which is allowances for machinery and plant and machinery. That's what it's originally designed for. But now property developers can use it for fixtures and fittings in your house. So fixtures and fittings, we're talking about pipes, electric cables, all that. You can claim capital allowances. But what you need is a capital allowance surveyor who's going to survey your property, and usually you can get around about 25% capital allowance on the value of the property. So you again, if your house is worth £100,000, you can claim about 25,000 capital allowances, okay, on that property, okay, and then you can offset your tax, any profit you make on. So let's just talk about property, not about anything else. On your property business, okay, you can offset that, so you can literally pay less tax, okay. So capital allowance is a great one. But guys, like I said, it's the education where I've learnt all this stuff, so you really need to get your head down, do some education, okay. Get yourself a great mentor. I've got a great mentor in Aaron Curry. He, like I said, he owns hundreds of properties himself, and he's got his own company what just deals with property development, okay. So I'm going to leave you guys now. So I'm just doing a quick video. So if you want any more information, please don't hesitate to contact me, and I can give you some advice. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.